The Organic Act of 1871 with no posted to any Sarah Restore America. Galactics News. The Organic Act of 1871 with notes. In Drake's update, he was asked when the United States of America was formed. This is the act that created it in 1871. That is why when the changeover comes, we will be going back to the Republic of 1870. The Constitution of 1870 only had 13 amendments at that time, with the 13th Amendment being the original 13th Amendment or Ton Amendment. There will be no 14th Amendment, which is what is used for anchor babies and restores our Bill of Rights removed in the slaughterhouse cases. No 16th Amendment, so no income tax. No 17th Amendment that changed the appointment of senators by the state legislatures, guaranteeing states' rights to general election of senators. Representatives are by general election for the people's rights. This will restore the checks and balances between states' rights and the sovereign's rights. Just as reinstituting the original 13th Amendment disallowing lawyers to hold public office restores the checks and balances to the three branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial, because having lawyers, i.e. people from the same organization or club, can collude to guarantee that certain acts or legislation will be enacted and survive. Act of 1871. 1871, February 21st, Congress passes an act to provide a government for the District of Columbia, also known as the Act of 1871. With no constitutional authority to do so, Congress creates a separate form of government for the District of Columbia, a 10-mile square parcel of land. See Acts of the 41st Congress, Section 34, Session the 3rd, Chapters 61 and 62. The act, passed when the country was weakened and financially depleted in the aftermath of the Civil War, was a strategic move by foreign interests, international bankers who were intent upon gaining a stranglehold on the coffers and neck of America. Congress cut a deal with the international bankers, specifically Rothschilds of London, to incur a debt to said bankers. Because the bankers were not about to lend money to a floundering nation without serious stipulations, they devised a way to get their foot in the door of the United States. The Act of 1871 formed a corporation called the United States. The corporation, owned by foreign interests, moved in and shoved the original Constitution into a dustbin. With the Act of 1871, the organic Constitution was defaced, in effect vandalized and sabotaged, when the title was capitalized and the word "for" was changed to "of" in the title. The Constitution of the United States of America is the Constitution of the Incorporated United States of America. It operates in an economic capacity and has been used to fool the people into thinking it governs the Republic. It does not. Capitalization is not insignificant when one is referring to a legal document. This seemingly minor alteration has had a major impact on every subsequent generation of Americans. What Congress did by passing the Act of 1871 was create an entirely new document, a constitution for the government of the District of Columbia, an incorporated government. This file://c_documents%20 and %20 settings /byron%20 wine /desktop/x%20 of %201871.htm 1 of 6, August 21st, 2005, 11:30:44 a.m. Act of 1871 newly altered Constitution was not intended to benefit the Republic. It benefits only the corporation of the United States of America and operates entirely outside the original organic Constitution. Instead of having absolute and unalienable rights guaranteed under the organic Constitution, we the people now have relative rights or privileges. One example is the sovereign's right to travel, which has now been transformed, under corporate government policy, into a privilege that requires citizens to be licensed. Passports. By passing the Act of 1871, Congress committed treason against the people who were sovereign under the grants and decrees of the Declaration of Independence and the Organic Constitution. Information courtesy of Lisa Giuliani, www.babelmagazine.com. The Act of 1871 became the foundation of all the treason since committed by government officials. The following is an expansion and further explanation of the above. An adaptation of Lisa's work, done with her permission, which you may want to read for your own edification. Whereas my Chapter 9 is a time map of the major headlines and landmines of the 200 years plus history of America, each subsequent chapter goes into particular details. This section is from Chapter 18, The Tale of Two Governments, which overall addresses the difference between a democracy and a republic, as well as the fact of a federal government and a shadow government practicing under the guise of the corporation. I'm sure Lisa won't mind your using what you need in order to make whatever point you wish to make in the moment. See, the United States isn't a country, it's a corporation. In preparation for stealing America, the puppets of Britain's banking cabal had already created a second government, a shadow government designed to manage what the common herd believed was a democracy, but what really was an incorporated United States. Together, this chimera, this two-headed monster, disallowed the common herd all rights of sui juris. You, in your sovereignty, Congress, with no authority to do so, created a separate form of government for the District of Columbia, a 10-mile square parcel of land. Why and how did they do so? First, Lisa Giuliani of Babel magazine reminds us that the Civil War was, in fact, little more than a calculated front with fancy footwork by backroom players. Then she adds, it was also a strategic maneuver by British and European interests, international bankers intent on gaining a stranglehold on the coffers of America. And, because Congress knew our country was in dire financial straits, certain members of Congress cut a deal with the international bankers. In those days, the Rothschilds of London were dipping their fingers into everyone's pie. There you have the why members of Congress permitted the international bankers to gain further control of America. File : //c/documents %20 and %20 settings /Byron %201 /desktop /eft %20 of %201871.htm 2 of 6 August 21st 2005 11:30:44 a.m. Then, by passing the Act of 1871, Congress formed a corporation known as the United States. This corporation, owned by foreign interests, shoved the organic version of the Constitution aside by changing the word "for" to "of" in the title. Let me explain. The original Constitution drafted by the Founding Fathers read, "The Constitution for the United States of America." Note that neither the words "United" nor "States" began with capital letters, but the Constitution of the United States of America is a corporate constitution, which is absolutely not the same document you think it is. First of all, it ended all our rights of sovereignty, sui juris. So you now have the how the international bankers got their hands on the United States of America. To fully understand how our rights of sovereignty were ended, you must know the full meaning of sovereign, chief or highest, supreme power, superior in position to all others, independent of and unlimited by others, possessing or entitled to original and independent authority or jurisdiction. Webster. In short, our government, which was created by and for us as sovereigns, free citizens deemed to have the highest authority in the land, was stolen from us, along with our rights. Keep in mind that, according to the original Constitution, only we the people are sovereign. Government is not sovereign. The Declaration of Independence say, government is subject to the consent of the governed. That's us, the sovereigns. When did you last feel like a sovereign? As Lisa Giuliani explained, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a constitutional historian to figure out that the U.S. government has not been subject to the consent of the governed since long before you or I were born. Rather, the governed are subject to the whim and greed of the corporation, which has stretched its tentacles beyond the 10-mile square parcel of land known as the District of Columbia. In fact, it has invaded every state of the Republic. Mind you, the corporation has no jurisdiction beyond the District of Columbia. You just think it does. You see, you are presumed to know the law, which is very weird since we the people are taught nothing about the law in school. We memorize obscure facts and phrases here and there, like the preamble, which says, "We the people establish this Constitution for the United States of America." But our teachers only gloss over the Bill of Rights. Our schools, controlled by the corporate government, don't delve into the Constitution at depth. After all, the corporation was established to indoctrinate and dumb down the masses, not to teach anything of value or importance. Certainly, no one mentioned that America was sold out to foreign interests, that we were beneficiaries of the debt incurred by Congress, or that we were in debt to the international bankers. Yet, for generations, Americans have had the bulk of their earnings confiscated to pay a massive debt that they did not incur. There's an endless stream of things the people aren't told. And, now that you are being told, how do you feel about being made the recipient of a debt without your knowledge or consent? After passage of the Act of 1871, Congress set a series of subtle and overt deceptions into motion, deceptions in the form of decisions that were meant to sell us down the river. Over time, the Republic took it on the chin until it was knocked down and counted out by a technical KO knockout. With the surrender of the People's Gold in 1933, the common herd was handed over to illegitimate law. File ://c/documents %20 and %20 settings /Byron %20 /desktop/ect %20 of %201871.htm 3 of 6, August 21st, 2005, 11:30:44 a.m. I'll bet you weren't taught that in school. Our corporate form of governance is based on Roman civil law and admiralty, or maritime law, which is also known as the divine right of kings and the law of the seas. Another fact of American history not taught in our schools. Actually, Roman civil law was fully established in the colonies before our nation began, and then became managed by private international law. In other words, the government created for the District of Columbia by the Act of 1871 operates solely under private international law, not common law, which was the foundation of our constitutional republic. This fact has impacted all Americans in concrete ways. For instance, although private international law is technically only applicable within the District of Columbia, and not in the other states of the Union, the arms of the corporation of the United States are called departments, i.e., the Justice Department, the Treasury Department. And those departments affect everyone, no matter where, in which state they live. Guess what? Each department belongs to the corporation. To the United States. Refer to any United States Code, USC. Note the capitalization. This is evidence of a corporation, not a republic. For example, in Title 28 3002, 15, A, B, C, it is unequivocally stated that the United States is a corporation. Translation: the corporation is not a separate and distinct entity. It is not disconnected from the government. It is the government. Your government. This is extremely important. I refer to it as the corporate empire of the United States, which operates under Roman civil law outside the original Constitution. How do you like being ruled by a corporation? You say you'll ask your congressperson about this? H.A. Congress is fully aware of this deception. So it's time that you, too, become aware of the deception. What this great deception means is that the members of Congress do not work for us, for you and me. They work for the corporation, for the United States. No wonder we can't get them to do anything on our behalf, or meet our demands, or answer our questions. Technically, legally, or any other way you want to look at the matter, The corporate government of the United States has no jurisdiction or authority in any state of the Union, the Republic beyond the District of Columbia. Let that tidbit sink in, then ask yourself, could this deception have occurred without full knowledge and complicity of the Congress? Do you think it happened by accident? If you do, you're deceiving yourself. There are no accidents, no coincidences. Face the facts and confront the truth. Remember, you are presumed to know the law. They know you don't know the law or, for that matter, your history. Why? Because no concerted effort was ever made to teach or otherwise inform you. As a sovereign, you are entitled to full disclosure of all facts. As a slave, you are entitled to nothing other than what the corporation decides to give you. File ://c_documents %20 and %20 settings /Byron %20 wine /desktop /ect %20 of %201871.htm 4 of 6 August 21st 2005 11:30:44 a.m. Remember also that ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's your responsibility and obligation to learn the law and know how it applies to you. No wonder the Act of 1871 Corporation counted on the fact that most people are too indifferent, unconcerned, distracted, or lazy to learn what they need to know to survive within the system. We have been conditioned to let the government do our thinking for us. Now's the time to turn that around if we intend to help save our republic and ourselves. Before it's too late. As an instrument of the international bankers, the United States owns you from birth to death. It also holds ownership of all your assets, of your property, even of your children. Think long and hard about all the bills, taxes, fines, and licenses you have paid for or purchased. Yes, they had you by the pockets. If you don't believe it, read the 14th Amendment. See how free you really are. Ignorance of the facts led to your silence. Silence is construed as consent. Consent to be beneficiaries of the debt you did not incur. As a sovereign people, we have been deceived for hundreds of years. We think we are free, but in truth we are servants of the corporation. Congress committed treason against the people in 1871. Honest men could have corrected the fraud and treason. But apparently there weren't enough honest men to counteract the lust for money and power. We lost more freedom than we will ever know, thanks to corporate infiltration of our so-called government. Do you think that any soldier who died in any of our many wars would have fought if he or she had known the truth? Do you think one person would have laid down his or her life for a corporation? How long will we remain silent? How long will we perpetuate the myth that we are free? When will we stand together as one sovereign people? When will we take back what has been as stolen from us? If the people of America had known to what extent their trust was betrayed, how long would it have taken for a real revolution to occur? What we now need is a revolution in thought. We need to change our thinking, then we can change our world. Our children deserve their rightful legacy, the liberty our ancestors fought to preserve, the legacy of a sovereign and fully free people. Posted August 27th, 02, www.babelmagazine.com/wisdom and freedom produced by World Newsstand Copyright sign 2003. All rights reserved. File ://c_documents %20 and %20 settings /Byron %20 wine /desktop /ect %20 of %201871.htm 5 of 6 August 21st 2005 11:30:44 a.m. File ://c_documents %20 and %20 settings /Byron %20 wine /desktop /ect %20 of %201871.htm 6 of 6 August 21st 2005 11:30:44 a.m.